And so silly me, under pressure from the camera, I've started here and gone this way, which, well, was really wrong because here's a dead end. There's nothing to sew along here because it's a folded joint. I should have started here at the very edge of the kote and then gone this way, up and around, but well, that's silly me under pressure from the camera. But never mind, I'll just take the thread back to this area here and start again and work our way up and around. I'm back on track now. I've finished the join area, it looks good, and now I'm going to start up here and then go across and finish. All in all, it usually takes about 10 minutes to finish this patch. It's really easy. It's not really difficult at all once you've done a couple. And so you can see the thread's coming from through the kote but under the patch, only slightly under the patch. And then you come from top, just next to the patch, through the patch, and then through the bottom. And then on the other side also, you got the patch on the other side. So here you don't come through the patch, but you come from under the patch. So sometimes you might have to angle the needle a little bit so you get it in the right spot. So anyway, here we go. Push. See, it's come out nicely. Not through the patch, but under the patch, through the kote. Pull. And then once again, here, through the kote. Out through the kote, but not through the patch. Pull. Just next to where the thread comes out, through the patch and kote. Through. Here I've gone through the patch on the way through. No, it doesn't really matter, but as long as it's not where the place where you can see it. If it's the back, it's okay, but it looks better if you don't do it. And then through the patch again. Turn it over so you can see where the needle's coming out, and here it comes. It's not going to be the best video, I know, but there's nothing else out there, so this is what you're going to get. Yeah, so once again I've come through the kote, just underneath the patch. Doesn't have to be underneath, but it can be slightly next to the patch is okay. Around this area. You don't want to come about too far away from the patch, but as long as it's close to the patch is okay. The patch will get pulled to the thread, so it'll still be covered up. But if you pull the needle out too far away, it kind of, maybe your patch might stretch too much and possibly break, tear. My little wife has come. She's going to hold the camera for a minute now. So through the patch, through to the other side, come out next to or under the patch, pull, just give it a little tension on a little bit of tension when you pull it through on the good side, and then through the patch, pull, a little bit of tension. Once again, I'm underneath the patch, through the patch, to the other side. Down through the patch, through the kote, down the other side. Alright, now we go into the join area now. So here, this, well, maybe not quite this one, but this one, oopsie daisy, down through the patch. A little bit of tension when you pull the thread through. And now I try to, I've probably made this patch a little bit short actually. And here what I do is I go through the patch, and I want to get it down into the join, so I take the needle down into the join, and that'll stretch the patch, or pull the patch down into the join area. And I'll just keep coming up through that join area. It's easier to sew through the join too than pushing straight through the leather of the kote. Doesn't take as much push and pulling power. And that is the end basically. And now all I have to do is knot it off. So I just tie a little knot, bring the knot down to the surface, put my fingernail on it and pull, so that way the knot is right at the end there. And then I do it twice maybe. Put the knot right down to the surface, put my fingernail on it, pull, and then that's basically it. Ready to cut. And that's the finished patch. Probably I'm a little bit short here. Once again, I'm kind of rushing for the camera, I guess. And that's the inside. Still looks pretty neat. Now what I need to do is I have to make a hole here so the kote himo can go back through, and I just make one small hole with a hole punch, and I'll do that now. Here. So this is probably not the best place, but I've got a big wooden block in my room, don't ask me why, and I stick my kote on there, and then roughly the same position as the other kote, the other side. I've got my hole punch. This is probably about a 3mm punch, I guess. I stick that roughly into the position of the old hole. I don't have a hammer with me at the moment, so I'm just going to use this. What's available, eh? Push, and then I've got my hole. I don't know if you can see there it is. I've got my hole for the kote himo. And that's the patch finished. Rethread the kote and then ready to do the other patch. I should note that these two repairs, I've already taken the kote palm off. It makes it easier to do that, to do these repairs. But these repairs you can do with the kote palm still there. It's just harder to do the stitching and then pull the needles out. You have to kind of get underneath the palm, but it can still be done. However, if it was this one here and the palm was still okay, but this part become really bad, what I would do is I would unpick the trim and the palm, being careful not to damage it, take it back to about here and tie it off, and that way I can do the repair, and then I would re-sew the palm and the trim as I normally. Okay, so this is the next patch I'm going to do. You can see it's, not in really good condition. I probably could put some bond in there and just leave it as a temporary,